Everyone, this is PC Death Gamer. Welcome back to another episode of Higurashi. Last we left off, we woke up in our room with Rena over top of us saying she called the doctor. We took a chance to try and call Higurashi. Mion showed up and they tried to drug us. And we blacked out and now we woke up again and we're still seeing Mion sprawled by the window in an unnatural pose. With blood all over the thing. Yay! Anyway, let's continue. I already read that part for you. Blood stained her a deep red from her head down to her chest. The bright crimson smeared onto the walls. That splatter had undoubtedly come from Mion. She always had that bright smile and was kind to me from the day I transferred. Rena. That same Rena was slumped at my feet and was making the same pool of blood as Mion. I couldn't comprehend what had happened. Did someone cut to save me? Did they beat these two down with this metal bat? I finally noticed the weight in my right hand. How long had it been there? It was Sashi's metal bat. It was covered in a deep red. There was no doubt that this was the weapon used to mutilate both of them. And I was holding that weapon. I was the only person in the house. Looking at this objectively, I couldn't think of anyone other than myself who could have done it. I did this? That's right. Keiichi Marbara. Of course I did it. I told myself gently, as if coaxing myself. Hey, me. There is no reason for you to remember it, nor is there a need to regret it. Eat or be eaten. You get that, don't you? But the blood, there's so much. Neither Rena or Mion had moved an inch. It wasn't just a split forehead and a trickle of blood. Nothing that simple. The entire room was splattered with red, and that told me it didn't end with just 2 or 3 strikes. Were they dead? Both of them? The depths of my mind were calm, but on the surface I was panicking and agitated. Calm down, Keiichi Marbara. What happened to your usual calm self? Come on now. Do like you always do. Throw your head back and take a deep breath. Come on. Once. Twice. Breathe deeply. Calm down. Calm down. I tried that over and over in my head and relaxed. Color came back to my vision and smells reinfused the air. At the same time, I remembered what happened when I blacked out. So now we actually get to see the smacks. Or read about them. And sorry, I hit my mic there. Rena and Mion. Well, I was about to say Mion. had attacked me. They were about to inject me with whatever caused the same symptoms as Tomeke. But right before that happened, I fought back. I twisted my whole body and threw Rena as she was pinning my arms. Then I followed forward with my spin and rammed my foot as hard as I could into Mion's torso. It was soft. I wonder why it was soft. Rena tried jumping on me, so I tackled her as hard as I could and slammed her against the wall. I didn't let that brief moment of having them off balance slip by. Sashi's bat was left carelessly by the side of my desk. Oh, yay. Whack. Whack. Bleep. At that moment, everything went pitch black. There was nothing recorded past this point in the videotape of my mind. No, that wasn't right. It wasn't that there was nothing recorded. It was recorded just fine. Just the other me inside me had told me not to look and had turned off the TV. Whack! Just because the screen had gone black and I couldn't see it didn't mean that the videotape within me hadn't recorded. Whack! The TV was just off. The video was still playing. Whack! Tape within me, creakingly along, still playing. Whack! On the other end of that pitch black screen, that horrifying video was still playing on. Whack! Compared to this, though, the scene right before my eyes, was still so difficult to take in. There was blood splattered everywhere on the walls. The two of them in these unnatural poses. Not a sign of movement from them. I couldn't even tell if they were breathing. No matter what circumstances were, my friends, these girls, I had attacked them. I may have even killed them. But if I hadn't done this, I would have been the one done for. Bouncing that on an imaginary scale, it felt odd that I even feel bad about it. Even if it was a bit excessive, this was just foul self-defense. The proof was all here. The two of them collapsed here, and Mion's syringe, filled with some unknown drug, would certainly solve the mystery surrounding the incident with Tameke. From the fact that both of these two were involved, they'll be able to pick out the criminals one after the other. Still, I might be suspected for this, but that was just fine. Anyway, now this should be a police affair. This wouldn't fade into the darkness like Verena's past incidents. As long as the police were involved, that should bring this to a close. They'll probably revisit their investigation on the chain of incidents. Or she would definitely get to the bottom of it. Meaning my wish of not wanting to die, of wanting to know the truth, that would be fulfilled in this most basic form. It was all a matter of time now. The doctor Verena called should be getting here soon. I'll confess everything to him. I needed to contact Oishi. At the moment I remembered. Besides the doctor, a manager had been called. It was easy to imagine that they were someone deeply involved in the incident, judging from Rena and Mion's conversation. I keep trying to combine theirs. The ache in my chest, caused by the gruesome deed I've done, disputed rapidly. It was not over yet. This place was no longer safe. Stay calm, Keiichi Mabara. I have no drink yet. It's not over yet. I need to live long enough to tell the police of this incident. At that moment, I felt like I heard someone's voice from outside. Since people were speaking, it must mean there was more than one person. I moved the curtain ever so slightly and peered outside. It was a bizarre sight. About 4 or 5 grown men were all gathered at the gate. They very much resembled the 2 men who had assaulted me at the dam site today. Those 2 might even be among them. There was one person there wearing a white coat, but he didn't look like a doctor at all. My gut told me he was in disguise, only posing as a doctor. That guy would probably ring the bell and get me to open the front door. Pretend to be a doctor to get me to open the door, and then the rest of them would all rush in at once. At that moment, I saw a car parked behind the men, and my heart nearly skipped a beat. The white van had tried to run us over. No mistaking it. That van, the one that had tried to run me down. The man in the white coat entered the gate and headed towards the front door. The rest of the men hid in the bushes and watched him. I probably couldn't pretend that I wasn't home. Undoubtedly, they'd just break the window and enter. I needed to get out of here somehow. Then use a public phone to contact Oishi. Then meet up somewhere. First of all, I needed a weapon. Then shoes. Before all that, there was one thing that I had to do. I had no intention of dying. I'd live and reveal the truth about this nonsensical curse of Orishiro. But what would happen from here on, regardless of how determined I was, may bring about my demise. And that was why. There was one thing more important than getting out of here right now. His thing behind the clock. I need to get that clock out quickly and take down the note hidden behind it. Damn it. The tape was sticking to it fast. It'd be fine if it had torn. Oh, I opened up the slightly torn note and began writing another passage with a ballpoint pen. If I wasn't able to inform Oishi, then the only thing I could rely on was this note. I never thought a piece of torn college-ruled notebook paper could be this reliable before. Oh, yay! I had no time. I would only write what I knew right now. I needed to leave some sort of information that would lead them to uncover the truth. Rena and Mio were conspirators of the perpetrators. This was an undeniable fact. I still didn't want to believe it, but it was a fact. Anyway, I'd leave all the information that would help lead them to find the perpetrators. There are 4 or 5 adults, maybe more. They have a white van. This was everything I was able to see from the window. There may be more. Also, there was an unidentified person known as the manager. Beginning with the term manager didn't even mesh with the town at all. If they were going to include the managers from the past incidents, then the only one was the construction foreman, the victim from the first murder. The very first victim in a chain of incidents. Killed in a lynching, his body divided into 6 pieces. His right arm was never discovered. The police should have confirmed that death, but Rena and Mio both called him manager. They said manager. They wouldn't use that term to refer to someone who had died, who was dead. Police would never even see that someone who was deceased could be involved. Could that be some sort of oversight? I didn't know. Sorry about that cough. But even if I didn't know, it could be a big hint for Oishi. That's right. They needed to start fresh from the first incident. It wasn't just a simple dismemberment, but the start of this string of mysterious deaths that would follow. So then, there must be something hidden there. Please reinvestigate the victim from the dismembered incident. He's alive. His death should have been established after an autopsy. Logically, you would think as much. But was that really the case? Could it have been some sort of ploy that they were able to deceive the police with? I shouldn't jump to conclusions, but he may still be alive. I had no time to ponder that right now. Oh yeah, there's something even more important I need to write. To make his death was from an unknown drug. That's right, that drug. It was irreplaceable evidence, piece of evidence, no doubt. Just by having this, everything would be uncovered. I couldn't just leave that vital clue lying on the floor. This syringe is proof. Writing it down, I stuck the syringe onto the back of the clock with plenty of tape, so it absolutely would not slip out and fall to the floor. Firmly. Ding dong. The bell rang. They were here. I couldn't write anymore. But even still, there was one last thing that I had to write. I have no idea why it has become like this. This made the closest thing to the truth out of everything I wrote on this note. If you are reading this, then I am probably already dead. Though you may or may not find my body. I was going to write out everything that could happen. You're dying from the curse, being demoned away. You, who are reading this, please uncover the truth. That is my only desire. With that, my last will and testament was complete. It wasn't certain that I was going to die, but it was my final plea, just in case. I folded the note, stuck it back onto the back of the clock, and returned the clock back to its usual spot. I couldn't help but pray. Oishi, something happens to me, I leave the rest to you. After that, I gazed slightly at Rena and Mio. This is probably the last time we'd ever see each other. Rena, Mio, I really had thought all of us were friends. But why did it end up like this? I never had any fun at my previous school. I only worried about standardized test scores, about if the school I hoped to get into was where I really wanted to go, or a safety net. That was all I talked about. It was a dull life. The people I called friends were also my rivals in studying, in competitions, and personal records, and standardized test scores. Everyone here taught me how unhealthy that lifestyle was. This month was really fun. Making a fuss over lunch, making a fuss over the club, making a fuss over the festival. Something hot began dripping from my face. Uncontrollable tears. I should have had no obligation to shed tears for them. But they wouldn't stop. Even if they were after my life. Even if they were trying to kill me. Everything that happened this month, I wouldn't forget it. Or could it be those happy days were all a facade as well? Was it all a trap? Meticulously orchestrated up until today to ensnare me. Could it have been that I had just inadvertently assumed that they were my friends? That couldn't have been the case. Both Rena and Mia really were my friends. Sorry about that. Now it's getting dry. Those happy days, there was nothing fake or unclear about them. Had a little bit of Mountain Dew left. Someone probably forced them to try to kill me. Or their minds were taken over, possessed by the supernatural entity known as Higurashi. Regardless, both Rena and Mion, they were the best friends ever. Damn it. And when they were coming after me, it wasn't of their own volition. And wait, they weren't the kind of people to sell off their friends, regardless of whether or not they were forced. There was no way such a thing as like being possessed by Urshiro could happen in reality. Did the real Rena and Mion come after me? What was I thinking? What a silly, dumb idea. Having beamed down both Rena and Mion, I was still debating if they were the real ones or fakes. There was no real or fake. Only the reality that was before me. Rena and Mion were sprawled out at my feet. That was the only truth. I was only trying to twist the facts to my benefit that I had beaten my friends to death. No matter how I spun it, it wouldn't change reality. Rena and Mion were both dead. It felt like there was a crack in the dam of strange emotions I was holding back. Felt like my calm state, which was nothing more than a buff, had receded, and in that opening, insanity was leaking out. I killed them. Rena and Mion, I killed them. The doorbell rang again. This unrelenting echo pulled me back into a state of composure once again. I didn't have a moment to spare. Quickly, I needed to get away. I didn't want to die. I would uncover everything after that. The identity of whoever or whatever had pushed me thus far. Even if I had to drink mud and eat grass, I would survive. I would definitely survive. I killed Rena for that very reason. I also killed Mion. I went that far just to keep living. So I can't die. For my sake, and for the sake of the late Rena and Mion, I have to survive. I ran towards the door, grabbed my shoes, doorbell rang again, as if to urge me on. Behind this single, solitary door, they were there. Keeping quiet, I headed towards the kitchen. Headed towards the back door. Before opening the back door, I put my ear to it and checked for people outside. No one. After I put on my shoes, I opened the door slowly, so as to not make a sound. Now, I know this episode is going to be a little longer than others, but we're at the end, and I'm not going to leave it there. There he is, the back door. A piercing voice echoed out. That voice stabbed through me, setting my hair on end. I had to run. Get out of here, Kiichi. One after the other, I felt stuff like rational and intelligence. Those things you use when you have time to spare. Spill out of me. I didn't feel any pain from the branches scratching my arms and forehead. My anonymously pulsing heart also felt neither fatigue nor pain. My entire being was being wished to live. There was nothing left to desire. Else it desired. Probably had no complaints whatsoever. So of course I wouldn't feel fatigue. I just ran. Ran recklessly, rushing in the direction I was already heading. Even if nobody was chasing after me, I would still be running like this. There wasn't a thought in my mind about where I was heading. Turning around, I felt a presence right next to me. That presence was, without a doubt, chasing me like my shadow. If I took even one misstep, I would be devoured. That's what I thought. So I didn't turn around. I didn't stop. I ran. Full speed. Get to a phone. Get to a phone. And the sound of the Higurashi. Casetas? I don't know. That was the chirping of the Higurashi telling me it was evening. Trying to tell me something. And then I finally heard it. The wailing cries of the victims who didn't make it. Would I be joining them? Again, sound of the Higurashi. Woohoo! I heard them enough this year. Only the Higurashi knew. They knew everything. They definitely knew. So I ran towards where I could hear more of the Higurashi's chirps. The farther I ran, the farther away their chirping became. I couldn't get near them. Why are you all running away? Was it my fault? Was I the one to blame? Then I'll apologize. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This sounds like someone else saying sorry earlier. I'm sorry. 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 I felt that only the Higurashi knew. You have to be a slow screen. Come on. Don't give me this.